Greetings, viewers, and welcome to another sleight of hand review. Today we're looking at something that was more or less suggested in my last Gundam Universe review, Gundam Heavy Arms. I was more or less intending to pick this guy up. I don't have the Robot Damashii version. I'm trying to correct that. So that's definitely on my radar. But for now, I want to take a look at the Gundam Universe version, and later we can do a comparison with the Robot Damashii version. So, taking a quick look at the packaging, it's a lot like what we've seen with Gundam Universe. Ages 15 and up, they give a number to them, they say Gundam Heavy Arms, they have some nice artwork on the front, a window so you could see inside the packaging. Not much on the side, a little bit on the back. Yeah, some cross-sell. And they say, beginning in 1979, the universe of Gundam spans over 4 decades with many diverse tales of war in space and on Earth fought with giant robotic weapons called mobile suits. Gundam Universe commemorates this history with 6-inch scale articulated action figures. So, a QR code there for a little more information on Gundam. And again, like with the Exia before, and basically all the Gundam Universe figures, you know, Robot Damashii is really hard to come by. Collectors are kind of maybe spoiled a bit by being in the know and having, you know, import sites that you can go to, or Big Bad Toy Store that imports for you. And, you know, even so, you're looking at Robot Damashii being $60, $50, $60 and up, depending on what you pay for shipping and stuff like that. So for this line to be in stores just out there for people to see and kind of get curious about, again, I think that that accomplishes, you know, if Bandai's after that, it certainly gets people interested. So without further ado, let's take a look. Let's get him out of the box and see just how heavy Heavy Arms is here. And yeah, let's go. All right, here we are, out of the box. And yeah, he's a pretty chunky figure, really. Not many accessories. He comes with his giant gatling cannon on him. He's got a basically a trigger finger hand. We'll see how useful that is. He's got just a general holding hand. And they just have a little ball peg on the end of them, so that's how they slot in. And he's got a stand adapter, which is, you know, pretty standard stuff. So, let's take a quick look. Yeah, you know, the paint separation, or plastic separation, is pretty good. Clean. There's no real, I mean, this on the chest, it looks pretty good. The head sculpt looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's panel lining that you could do. Doesn't come with it right out of the box, but his eyes are in there. They're very slightly, yeah, you get a better look at it there. You can see the metallic green paint. Pretty nice. This falls off. His backpack just pegs in with 4 tiny pegs in the back there. Let's take a look at articulation really quick. We'll do that run and then I'll talk a little more about him. The head is on a ball peg. It doesn't seem that the neck piece is movable. Unlike on the Exia, which you could get a little more over and a little more back. There might be there is a slight bit of movement in there. There is. But it really doesn't give you much. So you can get up, can get a little more down. These are reasonably flexible, the V-fin and these antennas back here. But you get the twist. You do get a bit of the confused Gundam look. Tilt side to side. Let's take off his cannon here, take off his shield. We'll do the shoulders really quick. There is a bit of forward back because it's on a ball peg, so you do get kind of a faked butterfly which I'll say this, it's better than none. The shoulder pads do get out of the way for your arms to come out that far. That's not bad. Obviously, you get a twist all the way around. The shoulder pad itself is movable. You have a bicep twist. You have a double jointed elbow that gets you... Well, that's not terrible. That's actually pretty decent. And your wrists, a swivel, very little up and down. I mean, it's a ball peg in there, obviously. You can see it. So you get a little up and down, you get a little swivel side to side. That's okay. For the waist, you actually get some crunch forward and back. And a little side to side as well. But it's mostly the twist that you're looking for here. Again, it doesn't seem like the... No. This is the only twist you'll get. There's no waist joint proper down there. That looks like that's fixed. But you do get some twist up here. It's not a great deal. That could be a lot better, but... It's not terrible. There's some there. It could be fixed completely, which would be a disappointment. These skirts do move, but only to that far. And the butt skirt does not move. So you have not a lot of movement there from the skirts, but the leg does do that drop down. So you can see it kind of whoop, drops down. Still doesn't get you a lot forward. And it's mostly because of this skirt piece is blocking it. Let's see if we can finagle something there. Okay. We did get more. So that's not terrible. Again, the skirt pieces are on a ball peg, but they're also on a like a swivel back there. So the peg actually will swivel up some to get you a little more out. But because these are so long, you're still restricted. And the out is also on a ball peg and a swivel, so you can get you can get nearly a full split. And not much back. The butt plate seems... The butt plate is a softer material. It's not as hard, and you could see the difference in the plastic too. This has a matte finish, and these are glossier. So it's a flexible butt plate, so you'll actually be able to, you know, fudge it a bit in terms of any backward movement. But let's see. You get... Yeah, you get a thigh swivel. It was a little hung up in there, so it was just moving on the ball peg and not an actual dedicated swivel. But once you free it up, the Exia did the same thing on this same leg. I don't know if the other one is. Yeah, it just requires a little freeing up, but you get a full bicep, thigh, biceps up here, a full thigh swivel. So in addition to the drop down leg, that's kind of neat. The knees are double jointed. They go back that far. That is a hair over 90 degrees. I wish I would, again, double jointed elbows and knees are, you would want as much of the full run as you could get, but it's better than being locked at completely 90 or under 90, which could, that could happen too. For feet, there's a good bit going on in there. There's a ball peg and a hinge, and then it goes down to another. That's complicated. Plus this covers down here, so you can articulate your foot to a point. Let's see. Oh, there you go. It popped off. but you can see there's a ball peg and then there's this piece that kind of mimics hydraulics in there. And that's what this ankle cover is attached to. And then you have your foot, which is just another ball peg. So altogether, though, you get a good bit of rocker. That's not bad. And you can go out to the other side too. Can't go too far forward because you come off the ball peg. But that's pretty far forward, honestly. And a little bit back, you do collide with what's back here. And you're just going to come off the ball peg. And like I said, you can cover on that joint so you don't see it and it's not as obvious what you're doing there. So yeah, that's, again, and there's a swivel, a little bit of a swivel, because it's a ball peg. So I don't mind the articulation that much. Would like a little more in the waist, but the fact that you can get a crunch and you can get back, I actually got it back further. If you play around with that ball joint in there, you could probably get, you know, enough that you can pose them up and have some fun. So let's look at the piece de resistance of the Heavy Arms, which is his Heavy Arms. And his shoulders open for the missile batteries. His chest opens for, and that's a nice little spot of green paint in there, metallic, for the gatling guns in there. And they're not painted, they're just, it looks like a separate piece of plastic, so they're gray. And the missile pods on the legs, which are fixed in. I don't believe they come off. Now they feel like they're in there pretty good. So there he is, all opened up. I'm exposed. Yeah, so you know, you have the main features. Missiles, guns, more missiles. That's why he's Heavy Arms. That, and he comes with a gatling gun, so. These are a little flimsy. They feel like they could easily break at the hinge part. I would take care with them. These feel a little sturdier here in the chest, and these feel a little beefier down here. But I would take care with the shoulders when you're opening them up. Let's go over accessories really quick. Probably should have done accessories first, but I really wanted to jump in to the details and the articulation. Let's see. Okay. That had a bit of a gap. It actually still has a bit of a gap, but it's a lot better now. So you may have to make sure that you close one panel before the other. Accessories wise, a big old gatling gun. This piece is a little loose on it. The barrels do not spin, so to say. This piece does, so you can rotate it and kind of get the adjustment that you might need. In this piece, this pegs on like that. So you get a bit of movement here. This comes off. Other than that, we'll try it on. It's a peg, it's a ball peg inside there, so it replaces one of his hands. He does not hold it. He would hold it with one of these other hands here. So, one thing I forgot, don't want to forget, he does have this knife. That's a pretty mean looking knife. Painted silver. Little speckle in there. It actually looks pretty good. How functional that is, because the blade is kind of, well, go like this and most of the blade is on this edge, not like this edge, but still pretty cool. A little sparse with the accessories, but he's kind of a walking weapon himself. Aside from being a Gundam, he's got more integrated weaponry on his actual mobile suit frame. For size comparisons, let's take a really quick look at... This is the Gundam ground type, Robot Damashii. You can see they're a good bit smaller compared to the Gundam Universe. Gundam Universe is a good bit bigger. They say 6-inch scale. Seems about right. This is a NECA Back to the Future Griff Tannen. And there's definitely a height difference there. And let's see. Here's the Gundam Exia Trans-Am version from Gundam Universe. And they definitely stack up pretty close to one another. So, final thoughts. I do like this figure. It's nice to get a representation of this mobile suit in a recent, you know, a affordable figure. I really wish he came with some blast effects. I think that'd be a relatively low-cost way for Bandai to up the parts count and the value, or at least the perception of value, a bit. Probably not affecting much of their bottom line. Given all the integrated weaponry with Heavy Arms, I really would have at least liked to see a snap-on effect for his chest. Those cannons in the chest are relatively flat once you open the panels. They don't stand out too much, but a blast effect that you could put on them to show that he's really opening up with those gatling cannons in his chest, that would have been cool. But, alas, we didn't get that. What we did get, still a pretty good figure. There's some surprising degree of articulation. The more I play around with it, the more I see how much I can push certain things. And when you do push them a little too far, it's more a risk of just popping a ball peg and not breaking something. That's great. I think that's good for anybody that's like entry-level Gundam type stuff. If they're worried about putting together a model kit or breaking a Robot Damashii or Metal Robot, this is a pretty good middle ground. Yeah, so definitely gets reasonably high marks from me, and I like that the line is really churning out some cool mobile suits. We've seen Heavy Arms here, we've seen a Gundam Sandrock, we've seen a whole number, and it looks like Bandai's continuing on with that, so good on them. If you liked any part of this review, yeah, by all means, leave me a like, subscribe. That would be great too. I will do a head-to-head with the Robot Damashii version of Heavy Arms, just to see how they stack up to one another. And leave a comment. Is there a mobile suit that you would like to see in the Gundam Universe line? Or is there a mobile suit that they've put out in Gundam Universe that you weren't able to get and you wouldn't mind seeing a re-release of? So, I think that'll about do it. From Gundam Heavy Arms here and me, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time.